Welcome back to another episode of the Clear Skin Podcast. I'm back again with my lovely skin experts, Nikki and Amelia. And we want to give a shout out to hydration this winter because we know that it's the time of year when your skin is crying out for hydration. We also know that there is a ton of creams, other skincare products, oils. Lots of people use oils on their face. And there's so many products out there that it's just really, really frustrating to be looking for products knowing that your skin is lacking that hydration, again, especially when the cooler weather comes and you don't know whether the products that you're using are the right products, right? So at Clear Skin Solutions, our philosophy has always been about keeping the skin hydrated above anything else. So we want to make sure that, hydration is kind of the foundation of your skin. And that's going to help support things like acne clearing, skin soothing. So if you've got sensitivity and irritation, and anti-aging. So let's start, ladies, by answering the burning question, because we need to be able to identify, is moisturizing the same as hydrating? It's a big question that lots of people kind of get scared of when they hear hydration, right?
And they both sound really similar, right? So like most people, when you say moisturizing or hydrating, you're going to think that they're the exact same thing. And hydration is the water's or your skin's water content. And then the moisture is going to be what is locking in that water content. So when we're using a hydrator, we always want to use it first. And the hydrator is going to be what really hydrates the skin. And it doesn't mean that it's going to make you like have an oil production or have skin that's overly hydrated or overly moisturized, but it's a part of repairing the skin barrier. So we're mimicking the skin's natural moisture barrier to help with dehydrated skin, which slows down premature aging and helps with acneic skin, and just really all around is amazing for everything.
Right. Now, just wanted to preface that we're really talking about the hydration, but we want to share the top 4 products that your skin craves in the winter, because we know, again, like I said, with so many products out there, it's really hard to identify what would be the right thing. So Amelia, why should, I know you talked about like one does the other, but why should ideally people be using both a moisturizer and hydrator in their skincare routine?
Because when the skin's dehydrated, we start to have inflammation and lots of different things where the skin barrier becomes compromised and we have that premature aging. And so if you don't have that hydration that's helping with your skin barrier, then your skin just kind of gets thrown off keel, and people will start talking about having a lot of texture, sensitivity, that premature aging that we're talking about, really dull skin. When you get out of the shower, it might feel tight. Glycation, which a lot of people don't know about, but glycation, which happens from a compromised skin barrier and a lot of times our diet as well. And also
sun damage. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And then breakout. So if you think about having a pore that's dysfunctional, it's not that it doesn't work, it's that it's working too hard. So if you imagine skin cells trying to go down a slide and you have one going down at a time, but when you have a dysfunctional pore, you have tons of skin cells because your skin's dehydrated and they're all trying to go down the slide at the same time. So they're all getting caught up, and then we're getting acne. So having that hydration and the moisture are such important elements for
like
even
the
acne.
Support system. It's like, hey girl, let me help you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's saying, yeah, hey girl. So it's a really great point.
I see you working hard, let me help.
I love it. So it's prioritizing hydration is definitely key. And we want to talk about sandwiching. So we use the term sandwiching actives in your skincare routine. So can you explain, Nikki, a little bit about what you mean by sandwiching and why it's important for your outcomes of your skin and your results?
So a lot of times we are going into a different climate or completely different weather. And so we might have gotten our skin acclimated to active ingredients that our skin can handle. And then all of a sudden, with the weather changing, you're turning the heater on, you're turning off the AC, you're getting in a car with the heater blowing straight on you. Our skin just has a tendency to be a little drama queen, right? It's like, I don't want that. Yeah. So The thing that I prefer to do is I start to sandwich my products early on before I start having some problems. And how I do that, I'm going to wash, I'm going to tone, and then I'm going to use my balanced hydration that has beta-glucan in it. And really use that as a protection barrier before I use my active ingredients, which could be my L-mandelics, my salicylics, my vitamin A's, all of those things that are going to be more active and exfoliate that skin a little bit faster, that stem cell turnover. I want to slow that down by putting in the balanced hydration, the youth restoring boosters, the peptides, to really just slow things down a little bit, but not stopping it, because I don't want to stop the hard work that I've done to start changing my skin.
And to remember, if your skin's dehydrated, it's not going to accept the serums that you need. So you're going to put the serums on, the skin's going to get more irritated. You're not going to get the benefits from it. So you have to have that hydration component in order for your skin to be benefiting from these awesome serums.
People have a tendency to just stop them, the hydration stuff, because they're like, oh no, I needed to stop all of these products, but stopping them like that make it harder to come back around and to get that skin glowing again in a healthy way.
And is that because we've talked about acclimation, right? So if you're in other podcasts, so if you're stopping some of those active ingredients, then you kind of have to build up that tolerance again for them if you come back to them, right?
Well, let's talk about that. If we go to the gym and we're in shape to run 3 to 4 miles on a treadmill, and then we just stop because, I started feeling a pain in my leg, versus really there is a pain in my leg and I have to stop. Like, there's two different things that are happening, and you have to work with your specialist to see which thing it is you need to do.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not always like completely stop or don't stop at all. Sometimes you have to reach out to your specialist to find out what's best for you.
Yeah, definitely. I know, for me, in the winter time, and we get colder weather here in Canada, I think. And but I use my my vents in my car. It's kind of a funny story, but I use my vents in my car to blow dry my hair. So I drive and blow dry my hair at the same time. But what ends up happening is, like you said, that heat from our cars, even from our in our houses and stuff like that, things get dried out. But that blasting on my hair is actually dehydrating my skin. So I start noticing it, kind of just as that weather starts to change, and it doesn't even have to be like full into the winter. I definitely start feeling it. So it's kind of like catching that before I start feeling, because it's not a nice feeling on the skin.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that I did skip over, so the beta-glucan, the sodium PCA, the ceramides, the glycerin, the alpha hydroxys, and the hyaluronic acid, all of those are important. And they're important in making it through the winter with glowing, healthy skin. Those are all super important.
And these are some of the ingredients that you guys love to the skin's hydration, right?
Happen to be in our products.
Yeah. So, and just like you said, Nikki, like the only way to, well, not the only way, but the best way, I'd say, to is to work with a skin therapist so that which products go in the right order and which ones that you need. Now, there are some other factors other than products that, we want to talk about, and that's other ways that we can also help to support that hydration. Nikki, Amelia, do you want to share what some of those would be?
It's like the most obvious is going to be, of course, drinking water. And a lot of the internal hydration is going to come from using pro-omegas that are high in our EPA and DHAs that are going to help us stay hydrated internally, which it helps our skin, of course, because it's the biggest organ. Sandwiching, which we've already talked about. So sandwiching with hydrators when you're using serums so that you can, the viscosity is going to be a little bit thicker typically for a hydrator. And so it's going to lower the potency of some of the serums that you're using so that you can still tolerate them. and then using a hydrator directly after, that sandwiching effect. So you get all of that hydration, your skin is glowing.
Yeah. I think it's super important. I've had a few clients that said, nothing I do, nothing that I have been using, I'm sandwiching, I'm stopping actives, I'm still super dry. And all we did is just put a humidifier in their bedrooms and it was done. Another interesting thing is I've had a few patients say that they were getting really oily, and it's the same thing. They're getting so dry that they're overproducing that sebum. So humidifiers in your room while you're sleeping, that's huge. I really like that. And like Amelia said, it's really important to have a good quality omega. I'm super picky. I only like companies that do third-party testing so that we know that we're really getting a good omega. And removing water from the skin as soon as possible. A lot of us, I like hot, long showers, which is a no-no because that really dehydrates our skin. But those of us that do like to swim in our hot water bathtubs and our showers, get that water off your body as soon as possible. Try to have a cold spurt, just before you walk out of the shower in the bathtub. And then I really, really like electrolytes. Electrolytes seem to really help with hydration as well at this time of the year.
Well, that's good.
Sometimes keeping the hot water off your face entirely, so you can wash your face with a milk cleanser like our essential cleanser, and using a hydration toner like our hydration toner to remove it directly from the skin without using any water at all. So you're skipping the water component completely.
Yes, a dry face wash is the way to go for sure.
But using a cool water no matter.
Yep.
Right. Now, is there also, from like the hot water aspect, but there's also a lot of irritants in water too, right? So that's also contributing to some of that inflammation and irritation in the skin. Can that typically dry the skin out, or is that just more for like preventing that anything that would be irritating in the water?
We want to get it.
If you look at like plumbing, and especially in like old towns and cities like the town that we live in, right, it's just completely corroded, and the amounts of like minerals and different things in your water that aren't of any benefit to your skin.
Get it off.
Yeah, you got to get it off. It's that stuff is just harsh on our skin. It's like throwing that water on a mirror and then wiping it with a paper towel. If you can like think of everything that you would see left over on there, all that film on your skin is just not. It's not going to allow anything to penetrate, and it's not beneficial for.
I like how both of our noses are turned up.
I've seen my types.
I love your analogies. You guys always have the best examples of things, and they're funny too.
Like, would you drink a cup that looked like that?
No, you're right. We would take it and we would wipe it off, right? We would remove all that excess film. Okay, so let's get into the Clear Skin Solutions top 4 products for sandwiching. We want to sandwich our actives so that we can get that optimal hydration this winter. So we've got 4 products that we want to recommend. So let's start with our serums and for sandwiching. So we've got our balanced hydration. Amelia, do you want to go with that one?
Yeah, balanced hydration is one of my favorites. So it's a hydrator to use right before a moisturizer. It is great for dehydrated skin. It's awesome for acne prone skin, oily skin, dehydrated skin, age management. It's good for everything. It restores moisture. It hydrates. It restores your natural collagen production for a fresher, younger, firmer, brighter look. And then it also has, which you guys are probably going to correct me when I say this, which we need to make a whole thing just about all the weird ways that we say things, but go-to cola, which is great for healing as well as hydrating. So it's good for healing broken capillaries while also hydrating the area.
Yeah.
And so balanced hydration is one of our favorites. It's a staple. It's on our essential basics because we just believe that everybody should have it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it also has licorice root extract in it. It's just such a yummy.
It's so yummy.
Yeah, it's so yummy.
Nikki, the next one is our youth restoring booster, which is like I can't live without. So what's so great about
we had somebody ask us last week if there's any way we could start carrying it in a gallon.
Yeah.
like,
I would take that gallon and just pour it all over me.
yes, it is scrumptious. So that one has ceramides.
Mhm.
And so ceramides help reinforce our skin barrier strength. It's just not, when we talk a lot about repairing our skin barrier, it is repairing its strength, like, so its ability to rebound and to have that elasticity that we really want as we age. It
Mhm.
also has an algae. It has an algae type extract in it. It's really important. There are some people that have a hard time with youth restoring booster. It's seldom in this formula, but it can happen. Somebody can have a difficulty with it. I don't recommend algae in any other formula than this one. But the polypeptides and the I can't think of the name of the peptides that are in it, but they're just a really fabulously hydrating formula. And it also, of course, has hyaluronic acid.
Great. Awesome.
And it's plumping. So it's a
Yes,
plumping
yeah.
humectant. So it's
Mm.
really awesome for under the eyes and above the eyes, and
Yeah.
helping fill in those wrinkles that we're trying to get away from a lot of the times. And so the plumping aspect is one of my favorites. I even really like it on my neck.
It's
Yeah.
my favorite to go all over,
Yeah.
and around, super close to my eyes and on my neck, and then follow with the Rejuvenate eye cream. So and then you can go back with some more youth restoring booster, and that can be some sandwiching that you can do as well.
That's nice. And I know that, like, sometimes I've had plumping products, like for anti-aging, and when they plump my skin, they're just more tightening my skin, right? And then it
Yes.
feels tight, and it doesn't, and I don't like that tight feeling, because I know that that's not how it's supposed to feel. And so I don't get that with the youth restoring booster at all, but it still gives me that nice bouncy, plumpy skin. Yeah. All right. What about our next one is the cascading potency serum. Amelia, can you tell us about our serum here, vitamin C serum?
So cascading is really a good potent vitamin C formula, is a non-negotiable with anybody who's looking for age management or really just is alive and going outside in the world. Because it helps with free radicals. But our cascading potency serum, it is really awesome for first of all releasing the antioxidants like we already talked about, but it's also super hydrating. So when you put it on, it feels like a really thick viscosity serum, and as it goes into your skin, it's just hydrating and really makes you very glowy, while also having these super awesome benefits to keep you safe from the world that we're all living in.
Yes, for sure.
Absolutely. And I know, just with the viscosity that you had said, I find, sometimes serums, especially if I'm layering a bunch of them, I find that my face can, not absorb them properly. But even just with the formulas that you guys have, yes, it might go on with a little bit thicker, but it just absorbs so nice into the skin, just drenches the skin, right?
Isn't that something you noticed with our formulas? Like at the beginning, it felt like a tree trunk. It's just sitting on my skin.
Mm-hmm.
And then over time, our skin starts going, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So that dehydrated aspect that we're
Yeah.
talking about, when your skin, it wasn't completely ready for it, or you had that compromised skin barrier inflammation, it does sit on top of the skin. But when it's ready, it just sucks it right up. It's ready for it.
And then when Delia has to be stuck without her products, by the time it comes, it's probably like, yes, girl.
Thank God.
Yes, girl.
Get stuck at that little border. Okay, so those are our 3 serums that we wanted to share. So again, we've got the balanced hydration, got our youth restoring booster, and the cascading potency serum. But what about moisturizing? Which moisturizers would you guys recommend to best sandwich with these serums?
So, one of the things that I doubt we're ever going to come away from, but I like to call our peptide moisturizer our working moisturizer, meaning that it has a job to do. Its job is to heal our skin. And so I recommend putting it on, and then an active ingredient that you are trying to make sure you're not going to be sensitive from, like the vitamin A or the renewal serum. You can put it on afterwards because the peptide is busy at work with that copper and that zinc. It's really getting that inflammation down and really calming everything. It's a wound healing cream. Like I've given it to friends that had, their children with skin problems, and they're like, my niece, her daughter got into a really bad car accident, and she's like, this is miraculous. It is. It's really amazing how it heals. Now, chaga love cream. Chaga is made from the chaga mushroom. It is the yummiest, thickest. I love it so much. But when we have healing to do, I like to sandwich it on top of the peptide because I can't get the inflammation down without our queen. Our queen peptide is like our killer copper, zinc formula that just really calms things down. And then you come in with the copper, and it's like that chaga, and it's like that hydration heaven.
Nice. That's fantastic. Those are awesome. I mean, I eat up all these products all the time. These are my.
And I want to give another shout out to chaga. Don't want to break his heart.
Yeah.
Chaga is the best moisturizer underneath sunscreen and foundations. Like, it's the queen because it really supports smooth, texture-free skin. Peptide, because it's such a working bee, has a tendency to kind of give
like pilling when you use it with sunscreen, especially with sunscreen. Most sunscreens have like mineral components to them, so when it starts mixing with that copper peptide, you get like that little bit of pilling on the skin.
Gotcha.
But I do have to say, if we have wound healing, from acne, from scarring, from whatever work we're working on, we want to still have that peptide going on the skin. So
right. Good stuff. Okay. So let's just maybe share with our listeners. We talked about what they might be experiencing on their skin when their skin's dehydrated and inflamed. So what can we expect? What can our listeners expect on their skin when they do start to sandwich these products together?
When I started, and typically when I do start with people on our active ingredients, I like to start them on our essential basics from the jump, just so that their skin ends up in a space where they can accept the serums, which have amazing ingredients, but they're just not gonna get the worth of what they're paying for without having their skin in the position to accept those ingredients. And so when you're starting with the essential basics and you're getting all of those nutrients in, and you're getting those hydrators and all of that awesome moisture,
all those cells are like, okay, girl, I'm with you.
Your skin just starts feeling smoother. Everything just starts to feel like not as tight, and our texture starts to reduce even just from that. Our makeup starts to sit better. Our ability to wash our face in the shower, it even just gets more comfortable when you're underwater.
Yeah. Well, I even noticed that I would always have like texture on kind of my jawline and just little bumps. But since using your products, they're all gone. They don't come back. They've left the building. So
they've left the building.
They have left the building.
Isn't that great? And we had one client that his girlfriend sent us a message that his skin hurt him every night and had a hard time sleeping. And she said, I don't know what's in that magic stuff, but he's not in pain anymore. And that's, all of the formulas together work beautifully, but the peptide is that calmer. It's like that mom that came in to calm things down.
I've also heard a lot of people say that they don't like moisturizers, like they don't like to put lotion on their face.
Yeah.
And I think that is from that dehydrated, compromised skin barrier. So when you start getting your skin to a space where it's hydrated and moisturized, it doesn't sit on top of your skin like we were talking about. So those people who are non-believers in moisturizers end up being believers because now their skin feels great.
Yes.
And it's just a little bit of that, like you got to go through it to get through it, to get to it, really, right? So it's a little bit of a transition period when you're coming from, using products that are likely causing you dehydration and whatnot, and lifestyle factors. But once you start giving the skin what it needs and it starts accepting it properly, it's like a whole new world. It just, it doesn't feel that, not that it feels greasy, but a lot of times people feel like, oh, my moisturizer is making my skin more oily, right? And when you've got the right products working for you, that starts to dissipate.
I know I don't have any proof because I did not allow any pictures to crack through,
Okay.
but I struggled with severe acne,
Yes.
and having hydrated skin terrified me. I was terrified of it. It just meant I was going to be oily and zitty.
Yeah.
And I didn't comprehend what I understand today. And what I understand today is that a compromised skin barrier cannot heal.
That's right. Yeah. So compromised skin barrier, when you have acne, you're inflamed, you're constantly putting products on it to strip it and to dry out, the oiliness and remove the breakouts. But really what you're doing is causing a compromised skin barrier. So you don't
And it goes back to what Amelia was saying earlier. It's already working hard, girl.
Yeah.
It's already working overtime, and depleting it and stripping it, and it's not helping it. It's not saving it.
And that's why a lot of people, product hop, or kind of always like, oh, this isn't working, so I should try something else. Why is it working for this person and not me? And we just get into this vicious kind of cycle of like, there's so much out there. So it's like, how do you know? Well, I think that it's really important to be working with a skin specialist who understands that and can make those proper recommendations, right? And, there's going to be the active ingredients for some people that you're not going to want on other people's skin, right? They just, it's all has to be customized. So if you listeners are interested in checking out our recommendations today and want to get on our essential basics or on some of these serums and moisturizers, you can go visit the Clear Skin shop at clearskinsolutions.com and check everything out there. We'll put some links as well into our notes here. And so that was really, really great discussion, ladies. I hope that everybody found this informative and that you can now be fully armed with transitioning your skincare routine from the warmer weather now to the winter weather. So thank you, ladies. Thank you to our experts, Nikki and Amelia from Clear Skin Solutions. And thanks for sharing all of your wonderful insights with us. And as always, don't forget to hit the follow button so that you never miss another episode. And if you have any questions or if you need any further information, feel free to email us at info@clearskinsolutions.com and we will get back to you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.